Rafael Garcia puts on a fantastic show.
Absolutely. Never been to a bad Rafi fight.
I've had the privilege of being to each one of their shows. World Class Fight League 1 back at Club Ignite in Hudson, Florida. Small little spot, which they had people inch to inch jam-packed in that show. And from there, it's just gone up and up in their time. And in 3 years now for World Class Fight League, nothing but big things for them, continuing to grow and always putting on big fights. And it seems like he's always trying to outdo himself. The last event, World Class Fight League 12, if I'm not mistaken, had 22 fights. And now here we are at World Class Fight League 13 with 26 scheduled. Of course, you always lose a couple of amateurs. So.
Well, maybe number 18 or 19 will be like an all-day thing, like a music festival. Everybody just shows up noon to midnight.
A 2-day show. There's XFO there's an organization out of Chicago, Illinois called Extreme Fight Organization. They have an event this weekend, XFO 25. They had 32 scheduled fights. I don't know exactly how many of those actually took place. That was an amateur show, but 32 scheduled fights. I have to imagine they had at least 25, 26 actually take place.
That's a heck of a card.
Yeah, that's a good promotion out of the Midwest up there in Chicago. Produce a lot of good fighters. All right, so far, Emmanuel Sierra kind of tossing each other around here, kind of changing positions, looking like some sort of a little dance. But
yeah, definitely trying to establish dominance on this.
Nice transition there for Sierra, looking like he might have had.
A lot of good athleticism, not a lot of good jiu-jitsu.
Right. Now, Emmanuel Sierra comes out of Spartan Gym. I'm not exactly sure on what.
And he's going down.
Nice slam. That is Hollywood Recchia at his finest.
And those are definitely crowd pleasers. When you hear that slam of the mat and you hear the crowd just go wild, as a fighter inside the cage that just executed that slam, man, it feels absolutely incredible.
Now, I watched this kid fight one time, Nick Recchia. He was yelling at himself and telling himself that you're sucking, you're this and that, but he was winning the fight, hands down winning the fight, and he ended up winning the fight, unanimous decision, and yelled at himself the entire time as if he wasn't getting the job done. And he's a wild guy, but he comes out and puts on a great show. You never see a bad fight from anybody out of D'Angelo Mixed Martial Arts. And there he is with the ground and pound, and this is what we should be seeing here in all of Florida amateur fights, but this one obviously being a ground and pound fight, we're seeing some good stuff here. So.
Yeah, the one thing I do know about top-notch athletes, and just like you said, he was easily winning the fight, but still very down on himself. And that's what I find in any sport. The top athletes, the top performers are their own worst critics.
This is Hollywood at his finest, not even looking at his opponent while he's punching. Now he's looking at him, but was looking up for the first couple of those punches. He is a character. He is an eccentric character. But just does a great job fighting, has a lot of respect for his opponent. He puts on a show and he's looking a little wild while he's in the cage, but I tell you what, he's got great respect for what he's doing for his opponents, and he's doing a great job in there. It's just phenomenal.
Absolutely. And
great talent.
What I see from Nick Recchia is, that Hollywood image. He wants to put on a show, wants to entertain. He definitely loves what he's doing. He's definitely having a good time in there. Some of the stuff, if you're an old school fight fan, some would be considered a little bit disrespectful, but for the new wave fight fan, it's just all about having a good time, a little bit of showmanship, showing that you're being completely dominant. Some people like it, some people don't. It's almost like end zone celebrations. Nick Recchia is definitely controlling this fight right now. He's got a full mount, raining down shots. Saw him get on his heel. Looks like he's setting up an armbar. He's got to pry those hands apart. Throwing a hammer fist down or two, seeing he can't get those hands to shake loose.
He's going to run out of time.
Well, I tell you, Emmanuel Sierra showed a lot of good strength, a lot of good arm strength, being able to hold his hands together in the face of adversity. Because I tell you, Recchia was really trying to crank that arm bar. He was going for it with everything he had. And Sierra was able to weather the storm a bit and say, hey, you know what? You may have a good position right now. I hear that bat plunking. I know the clock's running out. You're not going to close this one. Big shout out to the girls from Scores, Gentlemen's Club. They've been the ring girls for the evening, always keeping us, for lack of a better term, abreast of what round it is.
In the corner of Emmanuel Sierra, Yosmani Cobezos, the head coach over at Spartan Gym. And with Nick Recchia are the D'Angelo brothers, Mike and Gus D'Angelo, which you will be seeing next month at the RFC Michael making another professional fight, Gus making his professional debut. They are a couple of the head instructors over there at D'Angelo Mixed Martial Arts under their father, Mike D'Angelo Sr. I'll tell you what, when you talk about family doing it the right way, the D'Angelo MMA family is doing it the supreme way. They are the royal family of Florida MMA, if you ask me. A lot of, I'm seeing this a lot tonight, and I haven't said much about it yet, but there has been too many times where the referee is left cleaning up messes in the cage. That is the job of the cornermen when they are in there. If they spill water on the cage, they need to be cleaning up after themselves, man. You cannot be leaving that to the ref here. You got time
Absolutely.
spent.
The ref has so much to deal with. When you come
delaying the fight, I mean, this is something that the cornermen need to be taken care of here.
Absolutely, and the way the corner works, you got a guy that basically grabs the school, grabs the water bottle. You're only listening to instructions from one guy, and that's going to be your head trainer. It's the job of the other guys to let the head trainer do his job and get the fighter ready, let the referee get prepared, and as the stool guy is what we call them, you grab your stool, you grab your water bottle, you look around, you got the towel in your hand, if there's something on the floor, you clean up whatever's on the floor.
Recchia looking like he's going to try for another slam here. Nice job.
And that is definitely his go-to move, slamming him basically right into guard. So he's not in a terrible position, Sierra is, aside from whatever impact the mat may have caused from the slam. He's in guard, trying to throw those heels to the thigh, maybe catch a Charlie horse or something. Recchia doesn't seem to even bother defending him. Working for a good pass, gets it. Sierra's got that guillotine. He's trying to sink it in. Doesn't have really great position for it.
No, yeah, not at all. You're not going to get the guillotine from that spot.
No, if anything, it's just more annoying than anything else. But at this point, he hasn't had much success. So maybe anything he can do to annoy his opponent and slow down Recchia just a little bit, maybe help his chances somewhat, because he doesn't seem to have much of a drive at this point. He's just sort of trying at everything he possibly can do.
All right, big win for LSU tonight against Florida. Right on, go Tigers. Yeah, this is he's just going to wear out that arm, that right arm for Sierra. I mean, he can hold that all he wants. Recchia's got his head in a nice tough spot where really he's using valuable time to not take any damage to his head. That's not going to do anything. It's going to put pressure against the ear there, pressure against the side of the head. But it's not going to cause any sort of a submission. It's not going to cause Recchia to tap out because his neck's not in any trouble. You're not going to pull off a guillotine from side mount, especially that far out side mount.
Absolutely. And what that's going to do is when they eventually get separated, and they will, Sierra's going to stand up, and his arm is going to be even more tired because now he's just constantly holding it. It's basically like an isoflex.
You're right. Keeping unnecessary pressure on that arm. He just does not want to let it go. He doesn't want to let that head go, though, and he just needs to. He's got nothing. If he can turn him over and get it,
See, now we're in a little bit better of a position, but Recchia just a far superior fighter.
Needs to watch that. Wow, big slam there for Sierra. Yeah.
Recchia looks like he's absorbing a few shots or two.
Yeah, he's saying he's okay. Yeah, thumbs up.
Just like
his corner's asking him if he's all right. He gives him a thumbs up. He gets punched in the face and turns, and he's smiling at Emmanuel Sierra right now.
And that's all well and good, but at the same time, just like we were talking about the last fight, you have to intelligently defend yourself. Even if the shots don't hurt, you still have to make a conscious effort to stop the shots from coming down on you.
Big shout out to Paul Dominic from MMA Solutions Global. Phenomenal sanctioning buddy, does a great job. Runs his own promotion, too, up there out of the Panhandle. Actually, a couple of promotions. So he does Atlas fights, usually out of South Alabama, and he does cage combat out of the Panhandle of Florida. Still a nice full-size crowd here.
I tell you, talking about Paul, that guy never ages. I met him 10 years ago, literally looks the exact same. Like we were talking about last round, we're going to monitor these cornermen and see if they're actually doing what they're supposed to do. Looks like over in the...
Mike D'Angelo took the time to clean up. That's what you want to see. Obviously, he probably it's all in the first round, obviously, them leaving a mess, so he made sure to not do so.
Yeah, we didn't see that from Team Spartan.
Third and final round.
That could be inexperience from the cornermen.
It's probably. I mean, I know Yosmani, the head coach over there, has been around the sport a long time. Don't plant your hand. That's a scary moment. When you go for a slam like that, keep the hands in and just take it on your back. I was at a fight a couple years ago where a guy got slammed like that, planted his hand and snapped his arm in half, and almost 3 years later, and he's finally making his return to MMA. So.
Yeah, you got a lot of downward pressure, not to mention just the weight of yourself. The
Those
partial
bones
weight
will
of
snap
your
like it's nothing.
Absolutely.
Keep it in. Just let your back take the brunt of it. Keep the head in, keep the arms in. And again, with this right arm on this neck, he's not going to get anything done from this position with that. He's got to get out of that position to get into a better position, get into more of a top mount, or get out of being on the bottom of a side control. There, he finally lets it go. He realizes he's not getting anything. And now that arm's going to be weakened. That arm's going to be weak because he spent so much time doing that. Nick Recchia takes an easy full mount, and Nick's going to do what he does here.
He's back on top, working for that armbar again, just like he had in the last round.
He's got back, but he's got
now he's got a rear naked choke. He's sinking it in.
Yep.
He's going to try to get his hand behind the head.
That's over. He tapped out.
That's it.
Is he out? No, he's not out. He's just
a little bit disappointed.
I was going to say, I was like, that was a big win for Hollywood Nick Recchia.
Yeah, watching Nick Recchia over there celebrating with his corner. Obviously got some friends and family in the crowd that are very happy, very excited.
I cannot confirm this, but I could swear that when the Angel of Mixed Martial Arts comes up from Cape Coral, they bring a busload of people because they always have a large.
Yeah, they definitely got a good section. We do want to point some attention here to Emmanuel Sierra.
I think he was out. Yeah, I think he was out.
Yeah, I originally thought it was disappointment because it looked like he was tapping pretty vigorously, and the hold was let go right when the tap was applied. So I didn't think there was any carry through. But yeah, apparently he lost conscious for a little bit. The referee and the medical staff are tending to him right now to try to get him.
I still don't think he's in great shape. Yeah, he's still not in great shape.
Yeah, we're starting to blink his eyes a little bit. He's starting to regain some consciousness, breathing a little bit heavy.
I don't know. To my knowledge, shouldn't they have him flat on his back?
No, not necessarily. In fact, you want to turn a guy onto his side. You don't want him directly on his back, because if he starts vomiting and convulsing, you don't want him to choke on his own fluids. You get him to his side. He'll have the same recovery time on his side than on his back, and it's a lot less dangerous for the other stuff to do. So the medical staff definitely did the right thing there.
Okay, right on, man, right on.
Definitely a big round of applause from the crowd. That's one thing about the MMA community, real respectful, and even though there may be some showmanship, trash talking here and there, at the end of the day, when someone gets knocked out or someone gets choked out, when they make a recovery, there's definitely a big round of applause from either side.
See the fighters talking with each other, conversing there. That's good to see. I mean, I can understand true bad blood that goes before and after a fight in the professionals. But yeah, when you get into the amateurs here, there's just no reason to carry it on after the fight's over.
No.
So it's great to see the congratulations and the sportsmanship between the two.
Absolutely. And you know what? We can say that about any level. Unless you have a legitimate beef. And I know there's some people in the MMA world that have legitimate anger towards each other. But the cage is a sanctuary for most people. So, yeah, you know what? If you're in a press conference and you want to talk a little trash, you want to say this, say that, I got no problem with that. You make your own publicity. That's all well and good. But when you're inside that cage, it should be nothing but respect. Because just like you deserve respect for working hard and training hard and sacrificing your body, your time, your energy, your mind, everything, the other guy's doing the same thing too. So